Hello Golden State Warriors fans, we are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
Preview: Warriors aim to close out Rockets in Game 6 at the Chase Center. The Golden State Warriors have always had a special relationship with May, and under Steve Kerr, it borders on mythical. Undefeated at home this postseason and holding a 3-2 lead, the Warriors return to the Chase Center tonight with one goal: finish this series before things get truly chaotic. After being steamrolled in Houston during Game 5, a 40-point first-quarter blitz that left Golden State stunned, the Warriors are back in the Bay with something to prove. That kind of blowout can do one of two things: wake up a contender or signal it's unraveling. The Warriors are betting on the former. Game details. Matchup: Golden State Warriors vs Houston Rockets. Series: Warriors lead 3-2. When Friday, May 2, 2025, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Watch ESPN. Let's be honest, this series was always destined to be a chess match. Two tactically stubborn teams, each trying to impose its own style. Houston has gone all in with a creative double big zone, using Steven Adams and Alperen Sengun to clog the paint and frustrate Golden State spacing. The Warriors, built for speed and small ball, must now adapt, or die trying. If Adams becomes a problem, the Warriors will likely attack him early, force him to the line, and dare Ime Udoka to keep him on the floor. That's the kind of tactical pressure Golden State thrives on when locked in. Can the Curry-Butler combo strike back? When Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler first shared the floor, it felt like magic. In their debut, the duo combined for 59 points and erased a 24-point deficit against Chicago like it was nothing. But in Game 5, Houston's desperation, and their suffocating zone, neutralized them completely. Kerr waved the white flag in the third quarter with the Warriors trailing by nearly 30. "You just get the sense it's not our night," he admitted on 95.7 The Game. That decision may prove genius if the well-rested Curry and Butler come out tonight with fire in their eyes. Keys to victory. Attack the middle. Gary Payton II laid it out after Game 5, drive the middle and kick it out quick. Once the defense collapses, we feed the shooters and hit our spots. The Warriors flashed this approach but lacked commitment. That has to change. Butler's free throw frenzy. Jimmy Butler brings something rare to this Golden State squad: the ability to get to the line. Against a Rockets team allowing the second highest free throw rate in the playoffs, Butler's aggressive drives need to keep coming. Bench energy. Golden State's reserves cut a 31-point deficit to 13 in Game 5 before late-game chaos took over. That spark, especially if Fred VanVleet keeps impersonating Steph Curry, he's hit 12 of 18 from deep in his last two games, could be the difference tonight. Let's not sugarcoat it. The Warriors do not want to board another flight to Houston. Historically, teams up 3-2 at home for Game 6 win about 75% of the time. And the Chase Center? It's going to be rocking. This is exactly why the front office brought in Jimmy Butler, to close out games like this, and finally put to bed the postseason collapses that have haunted the franchise in recent years. This is May, and that means something in the Bay. There's something mystical about the Warriors in May. It's like watching Clark Kent enter a phone booth and re-emerge as not just one superhero, but a full roster of playoff killers. Under Steve Kerr, the Dubs boast a 69-21 record in May. That's not just a stat, that's a warning. May is when Steph Curry becomes a different creature, less man, more myth. It's when Draymond Green's defensive IQ jumps as if he downloaded an elite-level coaching manual straight into his brain. And now, Jimmy Butler gets to experience what it means to play with the Warriors in May instead of watching them dominate from across the bracket. The ghosts of Oracle Arena don't disappear, they just migrate across the Bay, whispering defensive rotations from the rafters of Chase Center while opponents try to run clean plays and forget how to breathe. Visiting coaches walk into halftime with the dazed look of someone who saw a ghost, because maybe, just maybe, they did. Remember when people said Warriors basketball was just fun and flair? Now it's chaos and darkness, a slow, suffocating unraveling for anyone who walks through those doors in May. The Warriors don't just beat you, they send you home questioning your career choices. They make maybe next year the mantra for half the league. Sure, the Rockets found something in Game 5. But now they've walked willingly into the month where Golden State becomes death, knocking door to door. And tonight? That knock is for Houston. But make no mistake, Houston isn't rolling over. Ime Udoka's team may be young, but they're fearless, and in Game 5, they showed exactly why the rest of the league should stop underestimating them. Jalen Green's shot-making was electric. Jabari Smith Jr. bullied the boards. And Fred VanVleet? He's playing like a man possessed, hitting shots from 30 feet out as if he's chasing ghosts of his own. There's a quiet belief brewing in that Rockets locker room, the belief that they've cracked something. That their defensive scheme has forced Golden State into hesitation, into overthinking, into mistakes. They smell blood. And if they can pull off a win at Chase Center tonight, the pressure shifts entirely. Game 7. Back in Houston. With momentum. That's the kind of storyline that flips a playoff narrative on its head. Pressure mounts on Kerr and Golden State's core. For all the magic the Warriors have summoned over the past decade, there's no denying this roster has entered a new era, one that's fragile. Klay Thompson is no longer automatic. Andrew Wiggins has struggled to assert himself consistently. Kevin Looney has been in and out of the rotation. Even Curry, as brilliant as he remains, can't shoulder the entire offensive burden like he did 5 years ago. That's why the addition of Jimmy Butler was more than a splash, it was a lifeline. The franchise knew the window was shrinking. Tonight, they'll need Butler to show the full weight of why they gave him the keys to the locker room and told him, "This is your team too." Steve Kerr also finds himself under the microscope. His early subbing out of the starters in Game 5 raised eyebrows. Was it strategic, saving legs for Game 6? Or was it a sign of doubt? Whatever the intent, tonight demands clarity. There is no tomorrow to plan for if they don't win now. The crowd factor. Don't underestimate the Chase Center crowd. This isn't just a building full of tech execs and influencers. Not in May. In May, it transforms. It remembers. These fans have seen it all, from dynasties rising to back-against-the-wall comebacks. They know when it's time to get loud, and if the first few minutes swing Golden State's way, the noise level could become unmanageable for a Rockets team still learning how to thrive under playoff fire. What's at stake? For Golden State, a win tonight means rest, reset, and reasserting control of their championship ambitions. It means avoiding a nightmare trip back to Houston with a season hanging by a thread. For Houston, this is the beginning of something. They weren't even supposed to be here, yet here they are, standing toe-to-toe with giants. A Game 6 win would be a seismic moment for a franchise that's been rebuilding in the shadows for years. It would validate the front office's faith in youth and Ime Udoka's hardened coaching philosophy. And for the league? Tonight is a measuring stick. Can the Warriors, even with Butler and all their experience, still be trusted in the moments that define legacies? Or are we witnessing the final pages of one era and the explosive opening chapter of another? As tip-off nears, there's a tension in the air. You can feel it. The kind that only May basketball delivers, when every possession echoes louder, and every mistake could be your last. Golden State knows this script. They've written it before. But the Rockets? They're here with a pen of their own, and they're ready to leave their mark. Dub-Hub, Steve Kerr says Warriors are right where they want to be heading into Game 6 versus Rockets. Here's your all-in-one Warriors and NBA news roundup for Friday, May 2nd. Despite a lopsided loss on the road in Game 5, there's no sense of panic coming out of the Warriors camp. In fact, head coach Steve Kerr made it clear, Golden State is exactly where they want to be. After falling behind early in Wednesday night's 131-116 defeat in Houston, the Warriors now return to the Bay holding a 3-2 lead in their best-of-7 first-round series. And with Game 6 tipping off tonight at Chase Center, the message from Kerr is simple: this was never going to be easy, and that's exactly the point. We're right where we need to be, Kerr told reporters. These series are battles. You learn, you adjust, and now we go home with a chance to close it out in front of our fans. Game 5 wasn't pretty, not even close. Golden State starters were overwhelmed early, trailing by as much as 27 at halftime. But Kerr's decision to pull them midway through the third quarter wasn't just waving the white flag. It was a calculated move to preserve energy and refocus for what's ahead. Now, the stage is set for a massive Game 6 in San Francisco, and the Warriors are counting on their home crowd to help them finish the job. The Chase Center has been a fortress this postseason, and with proven playoff leaders like Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler at the helm, This group knows exactly what it takes to survive and thrive in moments like these. There's a calm confidence in the locker room. This isn't their first rodeo. They've been here before, and they've come out stronger on the other side. Now they're aiming to do it again, one more win, and they move on. Around the league, NBA headlines you need to know. Malik Beasley of the Pistons raised eyebrows after their first-round exit, declaring himself the best shooter in the world, despite Detroit falling to the Knicks. Greg Popovich has officially stepped away from coaching duties in San Antonio, shifting into his full-time role as president of the Spurs, marking the end of a legendary coaching era. For more on the Warriors, the playoffs, and all things NBA, stay locked in to Dub Hub. Game 6 tips off tonight, and if you know anything about May basketball in the Bay, you know this: the Warriors live for moments like these. As Game 6 looms, the pressure isn't just on Golden State to perform, it's also on them to protect something bigger: their identity. For a decade, the Warriors have defined postseason resilience. And while this team looks different, older in places, newer in others, the DNA remains. That's what Steve Kerr is leaning into. Nothing about this run has been conventional, Kerr said after practice Thursday. But we've built our legacy in moments just like this: backs against the wall, questions flying, and one chance to remind the world who we are. Much of that reminder may fall on the shoulders of Steph Curry, who was held in check in Game 5, finishing with just 17 points on a night when the Rockets swarmed him from the opening tip. But back at Chase Center, with the energy of the home crowd behind him, Curry's postseason history suggests a bounce-back performance is not just possible, it's expected. Jimmy Butler, too, is expected to rise. After playing just 24 minutes in Game 5 due to Kerr's early lineup change, Butler has had 2 full days to rest and recalibrate. Known for his ability to turn games on their head when it matters most, Butler's physicality and leadership could be the X-factor that tips the series. "I didn't come here to watch," Butler told reporters with a smile. "I came here to win." Houston's confidence is growing. But the Rockets aren't just showing up to play spoiler, they believe they can steal this series. Led by Ime Udoka, Houston has played with purpose and edge. Their Game 5 domination was no fluke, it was a calculated dismantling of Golden State's usual flow. By switching defenses, clogging driving lanes, and exploiting size mismatches with Alperen Sengun and Steven Adams, Houston created chaos, and thrived in it. Now they're hoping to do it again, this time under brighter lights and louder pressure. Draymond Green and Fred VanVleet have been fearless, while Jabari Smith Jr. has quietly emerged as a defensive anchor. The Rockets are young, yes, but they're growing up fast. Should they pull off the upset, the implications would be seismic. It would mark Golden State's first opening round exit since the dynasty began, and signal that a new generation in the West is ready to rise. The bigger picture. This series, this moment, isn't just about one game. It's a snapshot of where the NBA is headed. On one side, a battle-tested core trying to squeeze out one more deep run before time and contracts catch up. On the other, a fearless, athletic Rockets team ahead of schedule and full of belief. The stakes are as psychological as they are competitive. Front offices across the league are watching too. Should Golden State fall short, tough questions will follow. Is this core still capable of contending? Is it time to retool around Curry with younger pieces? And how much longer will the franchise be able to delay its inevitable transition? For now, those questions wait. Tonight, it's about grit. It's about poise. It's about whether the Warriors can summon just a little more magic, or whether the future has officially arrived, wearing Rockets red.